last couple of years, and teams are starting to pitch around him. We saw it Monday in New York. He was intensely walked, and that led to a 5-run inning. The Blue Jays broke it wide open against Cologne. Bautista's not going to get an awful lot to hit against this White Sox team. We saw that last night in a very tight ball game.
Even though Jose Bautista has struggled the last couple of games, he's still a very dangerous bat, and teams have identified him when the game is on the line. They are not going to give him anything to hit. 2 outs, Corey Patterson on first base in the 8th inning. First pitch, second pitch, breaking ball's not even close to the strike zone. Now 2-0, he's geared for a fastball, gets the breaking ball, and now another one out of the strike zone, and Patterson takes off and steals second. I agree with that. You've got to get into scoring position. I think that's the most important thing. They go ahead and end up walking Bautista. The idea of the game is to win the game. It's the guy behind him who's got to start coming through. Juan Rivera has been hot, about 380 in the last 10 days or so, but last night he couldn't come through. Bautista has been negated because of the pitchers. They don't want to pitch to him.
Yeah, and he's going to have to be patient tonight. He's going to face the veteran Mark Burley, and Bautista's never hit a home run against the White Sox in this ballpark. He can't expand his zone. He has to take those walks and hope that if he doesn't get pitched to, somebody else in the lineup will step up. Jamie?
Brought to you by your local independently owned Home Hardware or Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Kyle Drabek set to take on the White Sox. First time that he will face the Chicago White Sox here tonight. Ozzie Guillen's team won a tough ball game last night, 3-1. They scored 2 in the 9th inning. And Drabek will take a look at the hot hitter top of the order. It was Juan Pierre. He had a couple of RBI in the game last night. Ramirez, Quinton, and Konerko, and then A.J. Brzezinski moves up to the 5th spot. Alex Rios. Adam Dunn drops all the way down to the 7th spot in the order. Ozzie Guillen's trying to get him going. Dunn struck out 4 times last night. Omar Vizquel and Gordon Beckham round out the lineup.
Trying to take a little pressure off of Adam Dunn, put him down in the lineup, and hopefully that big bat will get going. Kyle Drabek takes the ball for his 11th start of the season. Has been better in his last 2 starts, going 1-1 with an ERA of 2.77. Last time out versus Houston. Kyle threw 6 innings for the 5th time this season. Gave up 3 earned runs, but still lost to the Astros 3-2. You see baby steps for Kyle Drabek, getting a little bit better each time out. Again, this is just his 11th start this year.
Take a look at the Blue Jays defensively behind Drabek in the outfit. Patterson, Davis, and Bautista. Jason Nix back at third base. Leonel Escobar, Aaron Hill up the middle. Juan Rivera at first, and J.P. Arancibia behind the plate. First pitch is high to Juan Pierre. We mentioned Pierre last night had a couple of RBIs. Infield hit in the 9th, drove in a run.
You have to play shallow with Juan Pierre. He really doesn't bust the ball by you. The infield has to shorten up because he just has that explosive speed. You can see the corners in and even the middle of the diamond in.
Both the infield and outfield will come in a few steps. He's got an 11-game hit streak. That's tied for the longest active hit streak. Nick Markakis and Vladimir Guerrero, the Orioles, both have an 11-gamer going. Kyle Drabek walked the first batter in the game last time out. That was Sunday against the Astros right here at Rogers Center. He does the same with Pierre. Leadoff walk.
Just like last night's game, Brandon Morrow started the game with a 4-pitch walk to Pierre. And you see Drabek already shaking his head. Upset with himself after the first batter.
White Sox don't take an awful lot of walks. They are 13th in the American League in walks. And Pierre gets a leadoff walk to start the game. Alexei Ramirez, the shortstop. Another ball inside. He's going to come to a point where Drabek's just going to have to change his routine, get into a point where he can know he can throw strikes. We know he can throw strikes. It's just trying to carry it into a ball game. He leads the American League in base on balls per 9 innings, 5.95. That's why this is quite a contrast in styles. The White Sox don't walk, and Drabek walks a lot of them.
Something's got to give. Those base on balls, #1 in the American League. It's a lot of base runners when you add it all up.
Looked like Ramirez was taking all the way. Alexei Ramirez is a free swinger. He's up there hacking. He's an offensive player. Drabek's ahead, a ball and 2 strikes. Come on and missed. Ramirez strikes out.
Good overhand curveball from Drabek. They've been trying to simplify things with Kyle. Take away some of those pitches. Establish that you can get your fastball over. He can get by, in my mind, with a good, well-placed fastball in his curveball. But right now, trying a little bit of everything. Take it away from him and get into that strike zone a little bit more.
Carlos Quinton, the right fielder. Blue Jays cooled off Quinton last night. He was 0 for 4 in the ballgame. Quick throw checks on Pierre.
That's one thing that Drabek has. He's very quick over to first base. He's got 3 pickups already this year. If you get out there and you get caught stepping out when he throws over there, he's so quick and accurate.
Graybeck zeroed in the strike zone now. Carlos Quentin's been a hot hitter over his last 6 games. He's pounded out 4 home runs. That includes a 3-homer game on Tuesday down in Arlington against the Rangers.
7th career game with at least 5 RBIs in that game.
Pierre doesn't look like he wants to run at all.
Both of his feet are on the dirt area around second base. He's usually a very aggressive base runner, getting bigger leads. Been thrown out this year more than stolen bases. See both of his feet on that dirt area.
He just doesn't look like he's thinking about second. He's more thinking about first. He has run since 2001. Juan Pierre has more steals than anybody in baseball. Carl Crawford of the Red Sox, 416. He's a distant second.
8 stolen bases this year, but he's been caught 8 times also.
There's a drive to left field. Corey Patterson comes in and he makes the play. Quentin broke his bat. 2 down after the leadoff walk.
Shows you the kind of fastball that he has. He can just get in on Carlos Quentin.
Paul Konerko back at the first base tonight. He was the DH in last night's game. He went 0 for 4 and struck out once. Good plate discipline for Konerko. He always has a pretty good idea what he wants to hit when he steps into the box. Looks at an outside pitch. Konerko's a .280 lifetime hitter. White Sox brought him back. Signed him to an extended contract.
White Sox really went out on a limb this winter, spending a lot of money, feeling they have a chance to get into the playoffs. They brought back Paul Konerko. They brought back AJ Pierzynski. They spent a lot of money in bringing Adam Dunn to Chicago to hit into this lineup. Ozzie Guillen feels like his team is well suited to win the American League Central.
1-1, 2 outs. Juan Pierre at first. Down and away. They did make a large financial commitment. There's no question about that. And they got off to a tough start. They have since bounced back, but they've bounced back on the strength of their pitching. Their starting pitching has been very good, and that's allowed them to get closer to 500.
You and I have talked about that, about this team and the pitching that they can run out there every single night. The last 3 weeks or so, they've had one of the better ERAs in the American League.
They will probably use that 6-man pitching staff. There's Mark Burley in the middle and John Danks next to him. Let's take a look at that snap throw. Rivera takes the short hop. 2 balls and a strike, 2 outs. Konerko drives it to center. Davis broke back. Now he comes in, and Graybeck gets out of the first. Good inning for Kyle Graybeck. He issued the leadoff walk and nothing more. Had a strikeout. Mark Burley will take the mound when we come back. down in last night's game by Philip Humber. He did a great job over his 7 2/3 innings. Tonight it'll be Escobar, Patterson, and Bautista, top three in the order. Juan Rivera, J.B. Aaron, CB, and Aaron Hill. Rajay Davis is in the 7th spot. Jose Molina is the DH tonight. He's in the lineup. And Jason Nix is back at third base.
Mark Burley is a very quick worker. He will make the start tonight. And just like the White Sox, Burley is hot. He is on a roll, too. 3-0, 225 earned run average in his last 4 starts. Pitching into the 7th inning each and every time.
Yeah, and don't turn away when Burley is on the mound because you're going to miss a pitch or two.
He and A.J. Brzezinski together in sync. Just watch them work together. They have an idea. They don't waste any time.
Burley does a great job of working the corners. He's 32 years old, making his 11th start of the season. This is his 7th road start. He's tried to catch that outside corner. I mean, if you saw the dictionary and there was a word pitcher in there, it would be Mark Burley. He truly is a pitcher. There's a leadoff single for Escobar. Pulled it into left field.
Gets himself into a hitter's count, and now Mark Burley does not throw the ball by you. He's got to live on the corners. That time it was over the middle of the plate, and the way Escobar has been swinging the bat of late, hits it sharply into left field for a single.
Corey Patterson will step in against the White Sox left-hander. Patterson, as we mentioned in the open, had that 2-out base hit in the 8th inning. That was his 2nd hit of the night. That set the table for Jose Bautista, but the White Sox never gave in to Bautista. .275 average for the Blue Jays left fielder. It's driven to center field. Rios makes some steps back and makes an easy catch.
Let's take a look at the numbers for Mark Burley. He has had recent success against the Blue Jays. He's 4-3, a 392 earned run average. Against the Blue Jays, his ERA is under 2 at his last 8 starts. He has pitched into the 8th inning and allowed 2 runs or less in 7 of those last 8 starts against the Jays. Just keeping the ball away from everybody.
Makes a good pitch to jump ahead of Jose Bautista. Bautista's 4 for 16 against Burley, and he has hit a home run. Got a good pitch to hit there and fouled it straight back.
Boy, did he ever. 86 miles an hour, and it looked like it was right down Broadway. Loving it here at home.
Burley out in front, 0-2. Burley has a great pickoff move.
Since 2001, he has had the most pickoffs in the major leagues with 75.
Bautista pokes it through the hole into right field. Escobar will stop at second. Bautista taking what Burley gave him. Threw it outside. He went with the pitch.
You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to make the adjustments against Mark Burley because he very rarely gives you a pitch down the middle of the plate. Change up away. He'll run that fastball in and out. That time Bautista does a good job of staying on that pitch and poking it into right field.
First and second, Blue Jays threatening here in the 1st inning. Juan Rivera. As Pat mentioned, Rivera's been swinging the bat well in that cleanup spot.
Since May the 18th, Juan Rivera is hitting at .379, a couple of doubles, a couple of home runs. He's also hit .330 with runners in scoring position since moving into that cleanup spot. And even his outs, he's hit some balls sharply.
Yeah, his timing is very good right now, and he's seeing the ball very well. We've seen him line out. He had a couple of good games in New York. Ball in the strike, 1 out. drilled down the left field line. Escobar's around third. He's headed for home. Bautista is headed for third base. Rivera goes to second, and he'll get there with a slide. Blue Jays out in front, 1-0. Juan Rivera with the RBI.
You have to have a hitter behind Jose Bautista, his hot. And Juan Rivera as hot as anybody in the lineup. Uses his hands. You don't want to have a lot of movement with your body with Mark Burley out there because he throws a lot of change-ups and he really tries to mess up your timing. I think Rivera's approach was perfect. You can see from that side there was hardly any movement when he swung the bat.
J.P. Arancibia takes a pitch inside. First at bat for Arancibia against Mark Burley. And he will try to get you to chase off the plate.
If you are in pull mode, if you're a right-handed hitter and you're thinking about trying to pull him, that's when he takes advantage of it. I think if you think in the middle of the diamond, you're going to pull him naturally because he doesn't throw the ball by you. Got to keep that front shoulder in and think middle of the diamond.
Ball is hit to center field. Bautista's tagging. Rios has a good arm. He's shallow, and Bautista's being stopped at third. Arancibia just didn't get it deep enough into center. Rios was coming straight toward home when he made the catch. Bautista tagged, and about halfway down the line, Brian Butterfield threw up the stop sign.
As the third base coach, you have to get yourself in position where you can watch the throw from the center fielder and then help your base runner. He got way down the line at third base. If the throw was off target, then he could send Bautista, but that was a good throw by Rios.
Lots of variables the third base coach has to deal with, and one of them is where the outfielder is going to catch the ball, and he was coming straight toward home. 2 outs for Aaron Hill. 2 runners in scoring position. Takes the first pitch, breaking ball for a strike. Fly ball to right field. Carlos Quentin has a bead on it. Hill will be retired. Burley gets out of the first inning with minimal damage. The RBI double by Juan Rivera, his 5th double of the season, and the Blue Jays have taken a 1-0 lead in the first. He went down and got an outside pitch off Mark Burley and drilled it to left field.
Scouting report tonight for Kyle Drabeck is brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. Well, he has plenty of weapons to get major league hitters out. He's got a good fastball, curveball. He'll cut his fastball. He's working on a changeup. So he's got plenty to get you out. He's made some slight adjustments. His grip on the curveball, one of them. The other one, his position on the mound, a little bit more direct in the middle of the pitching mound on the rubber, and he needs to trust his stuff. John Farrell was telling us that if he trusts his stuff, that he can get big league hitters out by just attacking them.
Not trying to be perfect, make perfect pitches on every hitter. A.J. Przinsky, the catcher. Always a tough out. Przinsky will work the at-bats. He got the first hit off of Brandon Morrow in last night's game. Came with 1 out in the 5th. Shoots one to left field. Corey Patterson takes it about head high. Looked like Patterson was dealing with those lights a bit, but there's 1 out here.
Ball carried to him in left field. Przinsky's got a good idea at that plate what he wants to do. That ball right there. And some good carry to him in left field.
So 1 down now for Alex Rios. Rios, the former Blue Jay, always gets the attention of the crowd here at Rogers Center.
He put on a show today in batting practice. I think he lost about 25, 30 baseballs into the stands. Greg Walker, the hitting coach for the White Sox, is trying to get him on time. You see he's got a lot of movement in his swing. He spreads out, he keeps his hands low, and it can really mess with his timing. He's late a lot of times on fastball.
Ball on his strike. A cutter just off the plate. Graybeck ahead, 1-2.
It's a fine line to find too much movement and not enough movement as a hitter as you get your trigger ready to swing the bat.
Ball's hit hard to left field. Corey Patterson on the run over the shoulder makes the catch. Corey Patterson with 2 catches here in this inning. 2 quick outs for Kyle Graybeck. Adam Dunn had a tough night last night. 4 strikeouts.
Brandon Morrow with a fastball his first time up right down the middle. Looked like he was trying to look for a breaking ball, but then they just went right after him. And that floater there, and then Zepchinski didn't even need to throw him a strike his last time up. 4 strikeouts for Dunn. He leads the American League in strikeouts.
Dunn has always had a lot of strikeouts throughout his career, but with the strikeouts, normally you get more home run production. When you look at his career, I mean, he is automatic 40 home run guy.
Put it down. Just look at his baseball card, the back of it. Yeah, he's got 40 home runs, 100 RBIs, 100 walks, all over it.
Graybeck falls behind 3-0. Dunn has averaged 40 home runs over his last 7 years. There's a good fastball. 3 balls and a strike. 2 outs here in the second inning. Blue Jays have taken a 1-0 lead. Dunn takes the walk. Looks like he went with a changeup on a 3-1 count.
Or just take a little something off your fastball. You can see what Graybeck was thinking there. Pump that 3-0 fastball in there right down the middle. Then you try and take something off your fastball. The hitter is a little anxious and swings at it, but Dunn's a very patient hitter.
44-year-old Omar Vizquel looks at a pitch down and away. Vizquel at third base, 2,818 career hits, 3rd among active players. Dunn almost didn't get back. He says he's safe.
He doesn't have a big lead over there, but he went back feet first.
Vizquel shows bunt and pulls the bat back. It's 2-0. Aaron Sebe is going to take the ball out to the mound and deliver it personally.
Say, hey, Kyle, you got the first 2 guys here. Now you're trying to nitpick again. First to Dunn and now to Omar Vizquel. Let's challenge him. Throw him fastballs right down the middle.
Now, that's one thing he's going to learn as he gains more experience. You get down this part of the order. When you think about the way Roger Clemens always attacked this part of the order. Fastball down the middle, fastball down the middle, fastball in the corner. See you later.
Why wait around? Why mess around?
They're down in the bottom of the order for a reason. I lived down there 7, 8, 9. 9 most of the time. And you're down there for a reason.
Yeah, that's a helpless feeling where the pitcher's got great stuff and you know he's coming right after you.
2-1, 2 outs. There's a bouncing ball foul. Yeah, and that's an experience thing. You know, young pitchers have a tendency to treat every major league batter the same way. Oh, this is Omar Vizquel. He's going to the Hall of Fame. I've got to be careful with him. No. And that's what John Farrell means when he says trust your stuff. Drabek's stuff is good enough to be aggressive to get out most major league hitters. And again, he's behind 3-2.
We had a manager in Cleveland when we had a young pitching staff, and we had a young pitcher that would come in and he would bark at him, no tricks, no tricks. Don't try and trick them. Throw the fastball right down the middle. It's that good. You've got great movement. And you throw 95 miles an hour. No tricks.
Full count. Dunn at first base will be off on the pitch. There are 2 outs. There he goes. Ball is driven into center field. Easy play for Rajai Davis. White Sox leave a runner for the second consecutive inning. Kyle Drabek has walked 2, but he enjoys a 1-0 lead.
Quick worker. 9 of his career starts been played in less than 2 hours. He'll throw strikes with every one of his pitches. Fastball, curveball, lots of change-ups. And he's got a great pickoff move. 79 pickoffs in his career for Mark Buehrle. He will shut down a running game.
And he works quickly, never allowing the hitter to feel comfortable. Rajai Davis lays off that outside pitch. White Sox are going to try to get Davis to chase that pitch on the outer part of the plate. Going right back to it.
Yeah, he just lives out there on the outer part of the plate. Did you see him in between innings? He got his warm-up tosses in, got ready, and the home plate umpire said, we still haven't come back from a commercial, and he kind of shrugged his shoulders and said, all right. He likes to get it and go.
3-1. Popped up over near the White Sox dugout. Brzezinski can't get there. A.J. Brzezinski does a heck of a job with this ball club. He's a tough out at the plate and a very good leader behind the plate. We talked about him in the past, how he's the one kind of guy that if you're playing against him, you hate him. If he's on your team, you love him. 3-2 to Davis. Hit back up the middle. Ramirez, 360. Guns him out. What a play. Alexei Ramirez spun around, righted himself, and threw a seed to first base.
And that was the only way that he was going to get enough on that ball over to first base to get Rajai Davis. Gloves it, spins, and then the hardest part about that play is picking up the first baseman. When you turn like that, you're doing the 360, and there he goes. He gets him.
Boy, he got a lot on that throw. So with one out, it'll be the DH, Jose Molina. Goes after the first pitch and fouls him.
You start making plays like that where you're spinning around and all of a sudden the first baseman and you become dizzy. You have to find them. He made that one look easy.
Curveball from Burley. Ball on a strike. Burley threw a perfect game in 2009. He's also thrown a no-hitter. And when you look at his stuff, you go, well, he's not Randy Johnson and he's not John Verlander, but it just shows you the value of making quality pitches and working quickly. Bouncing ball to short. Ramirez has more time with Molina, but throws it wide.
Maybe because he had more time. At that time, it sunk on him, that throw. Slows down a little bit, plays it off to the side, and then just throws it away.
He is charged with an error, and they factored in, obviously, Molina is not a fast runner. And if he throws it on the base, Molina's out.
Error number 9 for Alexi Ramirez this season.
Jason Nix, the former White Sox, back in the lineup. He's really struggled since he's come off the disabled list. He hurt his leg taking a hard slide at second base when Sean Rodriguez of the Rays slid into him. Nix played with the White Sox last year in 49 at bats. He had been with the White Sox in 2009, gone back and forth, started out in the Rockies organization as a sandwich pick in 2001. This is pulled to third. Vizquel bobbles it, now rushes to throw and still has time to get Molina. Boy, that looked like Molina beat the throw. Jose Molina slid straight into the bag at second. Vizquel bobbled the ball and then made a quick throw to second.
Normally very sure-handed. Omar Vizquel sets himself, but then in the transfer can't get it, but he's got the presence to stay with that ball. Really hung up the second baseman Gordon Beckham. Really laid him out to dry right here. Exposed him. But Beckham does a good job of catching that and then pulling himself away from that bag to get the force out.
So there are 2 outs now. Back to the top of the order. Yunel Escobar singled in his first at bat. Takes a first pitch strike. We mentioned Burley's perfect game. Since that perfect game in 2009, he's had just a 19-23 record. Covers a span of 56 starts. But when you look up tough pitchers that are consistent, Burley is one of those guys. 10 consecutive seasons of 30 games started. Now John Farrell out talking to Paul Emmel about giving the hitter some time. But we mentioned how quickly Burley works.
He likes to get it and go. You know, as a hitter, the rule says you can't step out of the batter's box. And if you try to step out and adjust your glove or something, they have the right to get you back in there.
Ozzie Guillen seems the last person to be calm in this game. He's always on edge, anxious to get into the fray. Now it's 2-2. Blue Jays with a 1-0 lead. There's that good move to first. Ball is driven to right field. Quentin has room in front of the track, makes the catch. Blue Jays get a base runner, but Nothing more. Mark Burley shuts them down in the second. It's a 1-0 Blue Jays lead early. Start, and then Sunday again at 1:07 afternoon game. For tickets, you can log on to BlueJays.com. Call the Blue Jays directly at 416-341-1234. Or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. It'll be Edwin Jackson for the White Sox against Carlos Villanueva for the Blue Jays. Villanueva had a good first start last time out against the Yankees. First pitch swinging. Gordon Beckham drives it to left field. Patterson on the warning track at the wall and makes the catch. Corey Patterson stayed right with that ball and slammed up against the fence to take away extra bases from Gordon Beckham. And Drabek can smile about it.
There have been some instances this year where Patterson has shied away from the wall, but not this time. He goes full-fledged right into it and takes away extra bases away from Gordon Beckham. What a play by Patterson in left field, and young Kyle Drabek is loving that.
It's a big first out of the inning. Corey Patterson looks much more comfortable in left than he was in center. Juan Pierre drills it toward the gap. Bautista on the run. He's not going to get it. It bounces off the wall. Pierre headed for third. He rounds second base easily, and there'll be no throw. Juan Pierre put a charge in it. His second triple of the season.
Starting to swing the bat a little bit more with authority. Ozzie Guillen was talking about him after last night's game. Looked like a cut fastball that came right over the middle of the plate. Pierre with the game winner in last night's game. Lots of speed as he makes it into third base standing.
He's an exciting player. He can do an awful lot of things. And now the infield will come in with Pierre at third. One out. Big swing from Ramirez. Ramirez struck out his first time up on a hook from Drabek.
That time he wasn't waiting around to get into a breaking ball count right there.
Good job by Aaron Seavey. Has squared up on that breaking ball to keep Pierre at third.
Just get down to your knees. That's the important thing. Get down there and cover up that hole. Use your arms. Use anything that you can to keep that ball in front of you.
Line drive to left. Patterson catches it. Pierre goes back and tags, and he is safe with a slide. Well, Patterson made a good play on that sinking liner. He came in and dove headlong to make the catch, but Pierre hurried back and tagged at third to come in and score the tying run.
He's been very busy in left field so far the first couple of innings in this ball game. Made a circus catch to lead off the inning. Had that ball from Quinton, I believe, out in the left field, made a diving catch, and this time leaves his feet again. The only guy who could tag up and score for the White Sox was Juan Pierre right there on their team.
That's a tough play for a base runner because it's a line drive and your first step is toward home. 2 outs now. Carlos Quinton goes after the first pitch, grounds sharply to the shortstop. Quinton's retired, but the White Sox have tied it. Just 7 pitches for Kyle Drabek, but a triple and a sac fly has tied it at 1-1.
Takes extra bases away from Gordon Beckham. Alexi Ramirez can't get anything except a sacrifice fly on this one. A.J. Pierzynski sliced one out there, and he made a nice running catch on that one. He has been very busy so far this game.
And he'll try to get something going against Mark Burley. It's a 1-1 ball game. Burley's an interesting study. He's 32 years old now. And he is second in left-handed wins only to C.C. Sabathia. There's a long drive to right field, but that's going to hang up. Clinton's got a beat on him. Right in front of the warning track, and Patterson's retired. But when you look at Burley and comparing to tough left-handers, he might not have the stuff of a David Price or a John Lester, or even C.C. Sabathia for that matter. But he understands how to win and how to control the bats.
Well, you can say that again about controlling at bats and controlling the tempo of the at bats. Tries to speed you up as a hitter and you work quickly. Hitters don't have time to think about what they want to do.
And he's thrown 2 strikes to Bautista. He made a good pitch with a fastball and then threw a little breaking ball inside. And you're right, it's just about changing the bat speed, going back and forth. That's off the end of the bat.
We were talking in between the innings, and you were asking me about Tommy John, and I think that's right on. When you talk about Mark Burley is like this generation's Tommy John.
John was one of those guys where batters would rush up to the batter's box and say, let me hit him, and you'd be fighting to get in the batter's box, and then you'd all end up 0 for 4. There's a good curveball. Boy, good depth on that breaking ball, and Bautista strikes out. You look at the left-handers. We've talked about where Mark Burley ranks. Since 2001, he's second in wins only to C.C. Sabathia. He's ahead of the retired Andy Pettitte. Jamie Moyer. Burley just passed Jamie Moyer with his 24th in-league win. He beat the Dodgers last time out on May 21st and gave him 24 wins. Rivera out in front has the distance, but pulls it foul.
Looked like it almost took out the stage out there that we have where our boys are sitting.
That BlackBerry studio where Jamie and Greg reside. Inside. Yeah, I remember Tommy John all the time. He said, this guy can't get me out. You go up there and the ball would sink, and he'd throw you the curveball and put everything on the corner. And that's all he did was get you out. There's another drive toward the gap in left center. Juan Pierre on the run at the track. That ball is off the wall. Rivera is headed for second. Here's the throw from Rios. Not in time. Boy, that bounced up and caught Beckham on the side of the face. That took a nasty hop. It must have hit a seam, but it bounced up and caught him right on the side of the face. Herm Snyder, the trainer, and Ozzie Guillen, the manager, out to attend to their second baseman. Well, that's the last thing you expect, is to get a wicked hop like that. You're waiting on the throw, thinking about putting a tag on the base runner, as Rivera was getting close to second, and they're going to take him out of the game.
Well, the thing that I think about when I see this, his eye. I'm not sure where the ball hit him. Here is the replay, and it takes a funny hop and hits him right below the eye, or right in the eye. Look at the hop.
Oh, that's tough. You can see immediately covering up his eye, and with nothing but the best for Gordon Beckham. And Herm Snyder will take him in the clubhouse and attend to him. Hopefully he's going to be okay. So the White Sox have to make some defensive changes. Dallas McPherson is loosening up at third. He will take over at third base, and with the injured second baseman out, Omar Vizquel will go from third base to second base. That's too bad. You hate to see anybody injured, and that was very unusual. He just got a bad hop as he was waiting on that throw from the outfield. So the Blue Jays now, with 2 outs, have a runner in scoring position. Rivera, with his second double of the night, has set the table for JP Arancibia. Arancibia pulls it deep but foul.
This is where Burley gets really tough. Runners in scoring position in 2 outs. Batter's hitting just over 100 against him. He's got all those weapons that he can use to try and get you out.
Just foul. And he throws all those tantalizing pitches. You think, I got him, and then you hit it and you square it up, and all you can do is pull it foul.
Yeah, strike one. Right? And then he throws another cutter inside there. You swing at it. Now you're in the hole 0-2. Now you have to battle. And he can go anywhere now.
0-2, 2 outs. Outside corner. Talk about a masterpiece. Mark Burley made 2 great pitches inside, catches the outside corner, leaves the runner at second base. It's a 1-1 game after 3. 2 p.m. Eastern Time, live from Wembley Stadium. It's the Champions League final. Barcelona against Manchester United. It's the Champions League final on Sportsnet East, Ontario, West, and Pacific. Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. One of the best soccer matches in the world. Barcelona taking on Man U. Another good ball game going on here. It was a 1-1 game into the 9th inning in last night's game. It's 1-1 now as we start the 4th. Drabek jumps ahead of Paul Konerko. Konerko's the cleanup hitter. Tonight he is back at his usual first base position. We had talked about how Konerko is such a patient hitter, and this is the first time the White Sox have faced Kyle Drabek. So as a hitter, you normally like to see a few pitches, and if you can, take a few.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they go up there and hack early in the count just to get a gauge of what his ball does. Base runners allowed. That's the key, I think, for Kyle Drabek.
He threw that ball way down and away, and you could see him look away immediately. It's almost as if he couldn't believe he missed that badly. But this is a work in progress. We've said that every time we watch him go to the mound. Last time out against Houston, he was a bit better. Konerko drives it to center field. Davis makes the catch.
He gets into trouble, Drabek, and I think this is where you see that once he figures it out, he's going to be something special. Base runners allowed. He has allowed 94 base runners, which is tied for 6th in the American League. But he has the great stuff that when he does get those guys on base, he can get out of it. And we have seen that a lot so far this year. Do you know who has allowed the most base runners in the American League? And along the same lines of his stuff is so good he can get out of it, even though he's given up a lot of base runners. He's given up 100 base runners, this guy, and he's #1 in the American League.
Really? David Price?
Very good guess. CC Sabathia.
Yeah.
Sabathia has given up the most base runners in the American League, but their stuff is so good that they can find their way out of it with a strikeout or make a good pitch.
There's a good cutter that jammed Pierzynski. Kyle Drabek's going to get to a point where the phrase "try easier" is going to really make a lot of sense to him. Right now, he's trying harder.
Do you think that comes along with feeling like they belong in the big leagues?
Oh, absolutely.
When they feel like they belong here.
And that was the great phrase Charlie Lau always used with his hitters in Kansas City when he was building George Brett and Hal McRae and those great hitters. You got to remove the tension from anything you do, whether it's basketball, hitting a baseball, throwing a football.
And for a young pitcher whose game is, you know what I mean, reach back a little bit harder, and he's always had the great natural talent to do that against inferior hitters. To tell a young player, okay, back off the gas pedal, try easy, that's hard to do.
There's a ground ball. Hill in shallow right has time. Drabek is there, and they retire Pierzynski. Well, when you think about the situation with Kyle Drabek, I mean, here he is, a gifted athlete. His father was a major league pitcher, won a Cy Young Award. And Drabek was always so much better than anybody he ever played against.
Kyle, growing up, he was better than anybody else.
Well, most of the guys on the field were in that situation. They were always star athletes. But now, when you step on the mound and look in, you're facing somebody that has equal talent. Alex Rios goes after the first pitch breaking ball. And I think that's the one thing. When Drabek was in high school, all he had to do was grit his teeth, bear down, and throw a little bit harder, and he could overmatch anybody he was facing.
And overmatch him. And I wouldn't be surprised if he could do that all the way up through Double-A. But from about Double-A on up, that's where you've got to really start commanding. adding and subtracting.
Yeah, when you grit your teeth as a pitcher, the hitters grit back at you. Oh, and 2 outs. Off the end of the bat. Easy play for Drabek. Easy inning for Drabek. A 1, 2, 3, 4th inning. He's hooked up against the veteran Mark Burley. It's a 1-1 tie.
Rogers Sportsnet, brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Bottom of the 4th inning. It'll be Hill, Davis, and Molina for the Blue Jays as they take on Mark Burley. First pitch changeup. Hill popped up to the right fielder his first time up. That ended the first inning. It was a curveball. Boy, Burley has such a feel, and we've talked about the phrase read hitters' bats. He does that very well. He's ahead of Hill 0-2.
Touch and feel out on that mound, having an idea, and I think that's why he works so well with A.J. Pierzynski, catcher. Both of them veterans, 10 years in the big leagues, an idea of what they want to do against each and every one of them. And Pierzynski will take a look at that hitter and see where he is in the box and then go accordingly.
Hill shoots one down the left field line, but it's a foul ball. Mark Burley didn't really develop physically until after high school. He didn't make his high school baseball team. You believe that? There's a base hit into left field. Juan Pierre will come over and cut it off. Leadoff single here in the 4th. Mark Burley, his last 8 starts against the Blue Jays, he's 5-2 with a very good ERA. And look at how deep he pitches in the game. He really manages his pitch count against the Jays.
Last 8 starts, he has pitched into the 8th inning 7 times. He will attack you. You were talking about him in high school not developing. He was actually drafted by the White Sox in the 38th round back in 1998. Signed and made his way up to the White Sox a couple of years later.
And you know what? It'd be very difficult for a guy like Mark Burley to really get drafted now. Scouts rely so much on radar guns. They'd go out and say, Burley, what's he throw? 87?
If that.
Yeah. What's he going to do with that?
I had that same discussion this morning with a scout. We were talking about high school pitchers, and they're not even looking at high school pitchers if you throw 90 now.
Yeah.
they have him at 95, 96 miles an hour. That's what they're looking for right now, velocity. And I think you're right. They wouldn't even look at him in the first 25 rounds.
There's another base hit. That's got a chance to get through the outfield and go all the way to the wall. Aaron Hill, full head of steam around third. He's coming home. The relay into third base is late. Davis delivers an RBI triple. Hill scores all the way from first. The Blue Jays have taken a 2-1 lead. Davis's third triple of the season.
That's what speed will do for you. Watch Davis, as soon as he sees that ball get to the outfield and split Pierre and Rios, he's got another gear. And he came around first base, downshifted and low flying around second and made it easily in the third.
Did you ever lean around second base like that?
I wish I could.
He was flying around that bag. So now Jose Molina with the man at third. Molina cuts on the first pitch. He's out in front.
That's how you're taught to run the bases. You drop that left shoulder and you just lean into it. It'll help you cut that corner.
So the infield is drawn in. Nobody out. Davis with great speed at third. Off the end of the bat. Konerko looks Davis back and goes to the bag. Burley continues to pitch well with runners in scoring position.
Runners in scoring position, about 200. Runners in scoring position, 2 out, about 100. And he went soft and soft to Jose Molina, trying to get him out in front that time.
Jason Nix looking at Brian Butterfield. Blue Jays have used the safety squeeze in situations like this. The difference with the White Sox is you're dealing with a 2-time Gold Glove pitcher.
Mark Burley is quick off that mound, but you've got speed at third base. If you're going to safety squeeze, do it to the first baseman.
Another set of signs from Butterfield. Timing is everything. If you're going to use the safety squeeze, you can still execute even with the drawn-in infield. Out in front. And that's what Burley does so effectively. When a hitter is charged up in a run-producing situation, he backs off.
Backs off. Goes soft, soft, and softer still. I saw CC Sabathia do that against the Blue Jays in New York.
Ball and a strike, 1 out. Out of the strike zone. He just gets you to chase those pitches down and away. Now you would expect that Davis will hold his ground on anything hit on the ground in the infield.
Yeah, you got to make it go through. You got the number 1 hitter, the leadoff hitter on deck. You don't want to run into an out. You're already in scoring position.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Lays off the changeup. You mentioned CC Sabathia. His start on Tuesday in New York. Blue Jays got a run off Sabathia in the third, 3 in the fourth, and then didn't get another base runner after the fourth.
Lots of changeups, lots of fastballs away. Couldn't make the adjustment. Sabathia ended up with a complete game.
Full count. X pulls it wide of third. Jason Nix is well aware Burley's going to give him some off-speed pitches, and he still can't wait long enough. And you saw the graphic. He's had a struggle since he's come off the disabled list. Just hasn't gotten his timing yet. Right now, all you're trying to do is lift the ball over the infield and get it to the outfield.
Can you look for a breaking ball and still adjust to it, Burley's fastball?
I believe you can. Had had a good approach there, just fouled it back.
And I think that would help your timing if you think about it. Not look for it, but just think about it. Have it in the front of your mind. But always know that he might try and slip a fastball in the inner half, and that's when you have to be really short and just use your hands. A lot like Rivera's first at bat tonight, where he used his hands and hit a double down the left field corner.
Nix takes the walk, right off that inside pitch. Good at bat for Jason Nix, and now he'll turn things over to Yunel Escobar. Escobar singled and scored in his first at bat. Now the infield has backed up the middle. They are playing for two. Escobar squares bunt and pops it out of play. That didn't look like a design play because Davis never broke from third even after the bunt was on the ground.
He has done that on his own a couple of times and bunted it right back to the pitcher. The way he's been swinging the bat, I'm letting him go.
Yeah, you've gotten a lead here, taking a one-run lead. See if you can't break through and have a big inning against Burley. There's the bunt on, and Escobar bunted right through it. Krasinski's throw to McPherson, and now the tag by Burley on the play. Nix goes all the way to third. Boy, there has been a consistent lack of communication with Escobar in this bunting situation. First time he bunted, it appeared to be on his own. That time he bunted through it, and Davis was dead meat.
It looked like he pulled the bat back on that inside cutter. And by the time he gets down, he tags him out. I wonder if they're discussing if he attempted at that, bunted at it.
Well, that's what Konerko was doing. And now Guillen is coming down to argue the point as well. But it clearly was a case of Escobar pulling the bat back, which was even more curious with Davis coming down the line from third.
He homered in last night's game. He's already got a single in this one. First and third, one out. Hit a double. Score both of them. Too early in the game to be thinking about one run for me.
Especially against the caliber of pitcher of Mark Burley. You've got him on the ropes. See if you can't kick the door in. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bouncing ball, Vizquel. Escobar's retired. Burley gets out of it, but the Blue Jays cash in a run. Rajai Davis, an RBI triple to the wall in left center. It's a 2-1 lead for the Blue Jays after 4.
Kyle Crawford, 2 back-to-back 4-hit games. He is on fire and continues his hot streak tonight. Crawford's the first Red Sox player to have back-to-back 4-hit games since Dustin Pedroia did it back in 2008. Boy, the Red Sox are really swinging hot bats right now. Had him done. Looks at ball 3. Drabek's got to be thinking to himself, Dunn struck out 3 times last night. I'm on the verge of walking him for a second time. He struck out 4 times last night. Dunn's already walked once tonight. Now twice.
It's Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
So Kyle Drabek has walked a 186 hitter twice tonight, and Omar Vizquel will bat. There's a strike. Blue Jays lead 2-1. Rajai Davis has given the Jays the lead with his third triple of the season and his 8th RBI. Vizquel goes too far. 0-2. White Sox have just 1 hit against Drabek as he works here in the 5th. That was a triple by Juan Pierre in the 3rd. Breaking ball. Vizquel checks this time. 1-2. A base hit into right. Adam Dunn will pull up at second. First 2 aboard here in the 5th.
Not happy with himself right there with that pitch selection or where he threw it. Got ahead of Omar Vizquel. And he rips it into the right field for the base hit. First pitches, that's the thing that you have to be careful with Kyle Drabek. Matter of hitting over 400 against him.
Dallas McPherson will step in for his first plate appearance tonight. McPherson came into the ball game in the 3rd inning when Gordon Beckham was injured. McPherson now 30 years old. Squares the bunt and pokes it foul.
He was a big-time prospect for the Angels before a back injury derailed his career a little bit. Here's the injury again for Gordon Beckham. Watch the English, the funny English on that ball as it is thrown in from the outfield. And it looked like it hit him in the eye or just below the eye. He had the lead of the game. Vizquel moved over to second base. But McPherson is a big, strong home run hitting type. So I'm a little surprised that they're trying to sacrifice with him.
Just trying to get something going. McPherson's only had 11 at bats. Hitting 182. But he was one of the highly touted prospects in the Angels organization.
It almost has to be a perfect bunt because you don't have great speed down at second base. So Kyle Drabek should just go ahead and let them do it. Ball in the dirt. Good catch by Aaron Sebia. But if he's going to give himself up, go ahead and let him bunt. You can get the guy at third base.
They're trying to give you an out right here, and you have to make sure you take advantage of it. McPherson is swinging away and fouls it off. Got to a 2-1 count, and they gave him the go-ahead to swing. McPherson's had a couple of 40 home run seasons in the minors. 2004 between AA and AAA with the Angels. He hit 40 in each of those stops. Then he added 3 more in the big leagues. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Big strikeout for Drabek as he bounces back to get McPherson first out of the inning.
He does too much of that. Too many strikeouts. Curveball. And a good spot right there with 2 strikes.
Juan Pierre, who tripled and scored his last time up. Here's always a challenge to double up. Fastball away. Last night in the 1-1 game in the 9th, Pierre hit a ground ball to the first baseman and beat Mark Zebchinski to the bag for an infield hit. I mean, it was just a foot race, and a very lopsided foot race at that.
They would also score another run on an error on the same play. Pierre has been tough in the first 2 games in this series. A walk and a triple in this game. A couple of hits in last name. He extended his hit streak to 12 games with that triple back in the 3rd.
Drills this one to center field. Davis over to cut it off. Dunn had to hold up to make sure it wasn't caught. He only moves over to 3rd.
That is the definition of 1 base at a time right there from Adam Dunn. Ball hit hard by Pierre, and he held up just a little bit, and by that time he couldn't score. Line drive by Pierre, and you could see his reaction. Dunn 1 base at a time.
Yeah, he thought that Dunn should have gotten a better jump. Didn't get a very good read on whether or not that ball was going to be down. He hesitated, and once he did that, he could only move to 3rd. So now Blue Jays still have a chance to get out of the inning with a double play. Ramirez takes the first pitch strike.
If you're wondering if Kyle Drabek can roll double play balls, he has thrown 8 double play balls this year, which is tied for 5th most in the American League.
You saw Ramirez's numbers with the bases loaded. They included 5 grand slams. The White Sox have grounded into 48 double plays. They're take one right now. Bases loaded, 1 out. Blue Jays up 2-1. Out in front of the off-speed pitch. We're seeing with every start more and more composure. Early in the season, bases loaded, 1 out. His hair had been on fire.
Yeah. They've been trying to throw it right through J. Pierre and Sebia instead of right to him.
A ball and 2 strikes, 1 out. Popped out of play. I just think it's really, really interesting watching him develop. I mean, he's got all the tools. He's got the personality. He's got the makeup, the work ethic. He wants to be great.
Got the stuff. Yeah, everything. Yeah. It's a lot like Morrow last year. Brandon Morrow, April was not very good. His May, a little bit better, but still not very good. But then by June last year,
he took off. And it was kind of like what we saw in last night's game. Morrow, in his own words, said it was the best start for him all season. 1-2 to Ramirez. Popped him up. Shallow right field. Long run for Bautista. He will get there, and Dunn's going to have to hold his ground. Good pitch from Drabek. He jammed Ramirez.
He had the ability to go up with that fastball. Cutter down, curveball for strike 2, foul ball, and now high heat. And Ramirez just can't get to it and pops it up. And he hit it to the right guy, too.
And that was pretty good right there. The rookie battery putting their heads together. Aaron Sebia wanted to pitch up, and Drabek delivered. Very effective spot.
Not quite out of the woods yet. Carlos Quentin. Lays off the first pitch. Bases are loaded. Dunn's at third. Vizquel's at second, and Juan Pierre with a pair of hits. He's been on board 3 times tonight.
We know that Quentin has home runs. There's his numbers with the bases loaded. 364, 4 grand slams. One of 5 players this month with 3 home run games. Plenty of power. Got to be careful here.
Quentin with the count in his favor, 2-0. Now 3-0.
You see J. Pierre Ancibia saying right here, right to the glove. You don't need to nibble to the corners.
John Farrell has gotten a new understanding of the word patience. Three and 0, 2 outs. There's a strike. Kyle Drabek and the Blue Jays are up 2-1. The bases are loaded, 2 outs. Popped back out of play. It'll be a full count. Base runners will be off on the pitch. There are 2 outs. The inning started by Dunn. He took the leadoff walk. There go the runners. Bases loaded, 1. It's a tie game. Vizquel jockeying down the third baseline. Dunn comes across. That leadoff walk is cashed in.
You want it so bad, and you want to make that good pitch, and you just don't make it. It can be very frustrating. Now you got to gather yourself right here against a very dangerous hitter in Paul Konerko. 10 home runs, 37 RBIs, which is good for 3rd in the American League.
Drabek did a good thing. He was standing on the rubber, and just like you said, he went back, regrouped, and then climbed back on top of the mound. Bases remain loaded. Konerko with 9 grand slams. Now Aaron Sebia will go to the mound. And they're going to have some help as Bruce Walton, the pitching coach, will jog out of the dugout.
When I see this happening to Kyle Drabek, I think back to the conversation I was part of with Ricky Romero and Kyle Drabek in the airport. And Ricky was telling him, you know, Kyle, you remind me of me with my first year in the big leagues. Whenever I got to a 3-ball count, I kept telling myself out there, don't walk him, don't walk him. And invariably, he would end up walking him. But he has learned since. Ricky Romero's like, you know what, here it is. Let me see you hit your way on. And he's got his stuff where he is trusted.
He has gotten to that level of trusting his stuff, and Drabek is making his way toward that plateau. 2-0 to Konerko. Out in front and hits it foul. It is so difficult when you're in a tight ball game for any pitcher, but especially for a young pitcher, to say, okay, just going to make my pitches and not worry about it. I mean, your first reaction as a youngster, like you said, Don't give up a grand slam.
Yeah. That's those negative thoughts that get in there. Boy, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that.
Just think about making a good pitch. Here, hit this one. I'm going to make a good pitch, and you're not going to hit it. There's a good pitch. Good late movement. That caught Aaron Sevy on an awkward part of his glove. That rattled his thumb pretty good.
Catchers will have that thumb guard on that receiving hand for that very reason.
You can see the umpire, Paul Emmel, is giving Aaron Sevy a couple extra minutes to regroup. This umpire catcher fraternity, you understand when your pal needs a little break. That ball caught him on the awkward part of that thumb of his glove. So it's a 2-2 count to Konerko. White Sox have tied it here in the 5th. Konerko stays alive, hit a tough pitch. .31 pitches this inning. 2 walks in the innings, 2 hits. Ground ball is short. Escobar bobbled it for a minute, made it close at second, but Drabek gets out of it. He made it very close. Drabek shakes his head. He walked the leadoff batter, walked in a run. It's a 2-2 game, middle of the 5th. Some of the rising stars in the Blue Jays organization. Brett Lowry continues to put up big numbers.
40 RBIs already in this season. He's hitting .375 in 24 road games this year. Also, Adeiny Echeverria, a shortstop who could probably field right now in the big leagues, that shortstop. And Michael McDade hit 21 home runs last year in the Florida State League. He's up to 6 as he has moved up to Double-A. He's a big-time power hitting first baseman.
Another thing that's really impressive about the minor leagues, they're starting to win. Las Vegas is 2 games out of first. Corey Patterson, that ball is got a lot of English on it. McPherson's going to grab it before it can bounce fair. The Double-A team, the New Hampshire Fisher Cats, they are 2 games out in front of their division. Dunedin's off to a slow start. They're still 4 games over 500, but they trail by 10 games. And the Lansing Lugnuts in the Midwest League, they too have a 2-game lead in their league. So that's what you like to see. Not only are you developing good players like Lori, Hecheverria, and Goes, but you're starting to see the teams win.
Yeah, you're developing a winning attitude also.
Hot shot. Konerko can field it, and he goes to the bag. First out of the 5th inning here.
You know, the main thing you want to do in the minor leagues, obviously, is develop players. And I think you want to develop your style, how you want to teach them how to play. I mean, for years you heard the Oriole way or the Dodger way, how they want to do it. And they would carry that right throughout their system, so when they got to the big leagues, there was a seamless transition. I think you also need to develop winning habits. People have to learn how to win. Looks like that's happening in the Jays minor league system now.
Jose Bautista drills it into the seats. Well, there are a couple of things that I really find interesting. Mike Redmond, the former catcher, is the manager at Lansing. Sal Fasano, a former catcher, is the manager at AA. Popped up. Brzezinski will give it a look, but it's over the screen, out of play. I just think you really have some good personnel in the system as coaches and managers now.
Young players who just got out of the game too, so they can relate with today's minor leaguers and young players.
Bautista with a 1-2 count. An inside pitch catches the corner, and Burley strikes him out.
Strikes him out for the second time tonight. You have to have guts to go inside against Jose Bautista, and Burley certainly does that from the overhead camera. You can see it catches plenty of the plate.
Boy, he just keeps you off balance, off stride. You can never guess with Mark Burley. He is a master of mixing them up. First pitch breaking ball is down low. Rivera's been on him all night. He has a pair of doubles and an RBI. Stays on that breaking ball, but it's a foul. Rivera has 6 doubles now for the season.
I like his approach against Mark Burley. There's hardly any movement from his lower half. He's going to stay back and track the ball as long as possible, and then just use his hands to hit. You don't see a stride from Rivera.
Pops this one up. Should be playable. Konerko in foul ground, and Burley has a good inning. A 1-2-3 5th inning. We played 5 complete here at Rogers Center. It's a 2-2 ball game. At 7 p.m. Kids 14 and under will receive these exclusive baseball cards. For more information, log on to bluejays.com/community. A.J. Brzezinski, the catcher. Brzezinski lined out and grounded out. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Hot shot, but right to the third baseman. One out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Cleveland and Tampa Bay both off to decent starts. Tampa Bay's run into a little bit of a slowdown. They are 3-7 in their last 10 games.
Still winning on the road. They've won the most games on the road this season.
Alex Rios ducks back from a high fastball. It's 2-0. White Sox have managed just 2 runs on 3 hits against Draybeck. Cutter that Rios just fouls out of play.
He's thrown some good ones tonight. Some good cutters to those right-handers. He's also had a good touch with his curveball. See the small strides once again for Kyle Draybeck.
Deep in the hole, it's short. Escobar just in time to get Rios. Rios thought he was past the bag, and here comes Ozzie Guillen. Guillen shot over the wall out of the dugout, and he's going to come out and have a chat with Rob Drake.
Well, the first thing he wants to do, he wants to keep a center fielder in the game. Let me handle this one, he says. And he'll let Rob Drake know as Rios heads back to the dugout.
Well, Rios is hitting just over 200, and you need every hit you can get.
Yeah, begging for every hit. He's got those long strides. He came out of that batter's box thinking base hit. And you can see the stretch from Rivera. And he is safe. They missed it.
Blue Jays get a break. Adam Dunn cuts on the first pitch. Rios looked like he was across the bag before Rivera got the ball. Draybeck ahead 0-2.
Do you mess around here trying to set a guy up, or you just go hard charging now right after him?
Right after him. He's in a situation where he's got to prove that he can catch up to that fastball. Bounce the breaking ball. Dunn started the 5th inning with a walk, came around to score on the bases loaded walk to Carlos Quentin. Missed with that fastball outside.
Lefties are the ones that have given Kyle Draybeck problems this year. 37 walks this season, 25 of them to the left-handers. Just hasn't been able to command that outside part of the plate.
Dunn works it back to a full count. It was 0-2.
The left-handers have an on-base percentage against Draybeck over 400 this year. Just has to figure out a way that he could throw those pitches on the outside part of the plate more consistent.
Dunn walks for a 3rd time tonight. It's a 5th walk Draybeck has issued.
I looked up the 3-2 count this year from Kyle Draybeck, and he has had 33 3-2 counts this year. 19 times he ended up walking the batter. 12 times he struck him out. That'll run your pitch count up.
Omar Vizquel. Vizquel singled into right with 2 strikes his last time up. Two balls and no strikes. 2 ground ball outs in the 6th, and then the 2-out walk. 5th inning was the big problem inning. 32 pitches in that inning. That's when Draybeck walked 2 and walked in the tying run. He's back in this at bat at 2-1. Vizquel knew exactly what he was doing. Just turned around to distract Drabek and got exactly what he wanted.
Yeah,
Ball 3.
It worked to perfection to get to a 3-1 count. He wasn't going to offer at that. That was just to disrupt the starting pitcher.
Big swing and a miss from Vizquel. It's full count. So Rivera will back up behind Adam Dunn over at first. Full count, 2 outs. Dunn will be moving on the pitch. Back to Drabek. Vizquel is retired. The White Sox strand another base runner. Drabek has thrown 6 in a 2-2 game. J.P. Arencibia is 0 for 2 tonight. Aaron Hill has a single he's scored, and Rajay Davis a big night, a triple and an RBI. Game. Kyle Drabek has stranded 6 White Sox base runners. He's allowed them just 3 hits. Juan Pierre has 2 of them. Arencibia, Hill, and Davis. Base mark Burley. Burley looks like he's playing catch.
Not throwing very hard. Just put the ball in play. He's had 3 strikeouts.
Off the end of the bat. Ramirez waits on it. Canerco scoops it, and Arencibia is retired.
It's Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Another tight ball game here at Rogers Center. We mentioned last night's game went into the 9th with a 1-1 tie. White Sox came up with 2 in their half of the 9th. Blue Jays couldn't break through against Sergio Santos, who picked up his 8th save of the season. Aaron Hill lifts one to left field. Pierre is over near the foul line and makes the catch. 2 quick outs here in the 6th.
For his career, Mark Burley, the percentage of pitches that are put in play is very high. 23% of the pitches that he's thrown in his career have been put into play, so you got to be in swing mode. Unfortunately, it just doesn't give you a lot to work with.
It's interesting. He and CC Sabathia are the only active pitchers with 10+ wins in each of the last 10 seasons.
And I bring it up because it's quite a contrast in styles. Sabathia, the big, powerful left-hander with overpowering stuff. Burley, just the opposite. But they're both remarkably consistent.
One was a high draft pick. One was a very low draft pick. There's a couple different ways that you can be successful.
That's why I love experienced scouts. They see projections. They can see a guy and determine if he's got heart, if he works out, if he understands how to manage a game from the mound. It's not all about size and body and velocity. It's about savvy. And this guy's got savvy. Another base hit for Davis.
You know, it certainly helps to be 6'5" and throw 95, but you don't have to be. I think you have to be smart also. You have to be able to adapt and learn. He certainly has been able to do that. Ball punched in the left side by Davis as he continues to swing a hot bat. He's been on base twice tonight. Now this should be fun to watch Burley and Davis go at each other. Mark Burley for his career has picked off more batters than he has had stolen bases against.
That's pretty good.
He's only given up 48 stolen bases in his career, and he's picked off 79 runners. That's not the good one.
Now the good one is the one where he looks at home, steps to first, and hangs out the base runner to dry. 2 outs, tie ball game. That's the good one. And you can see Davis was a little bit slow when diving back.
Yeah, I was not sure what he was doing.
If that throw is down around the bag, he's out. Got him picked off. Canerco's throw to second is in plenty of time. Davis was guessing with Burley on the first move, and he gets him. Davis broke. Canerco made a good throw to Vizquel, and Burley gets out of the 6th inning. Either Mississauga or Kootenay as their opponents for the 2011 MasterCard Memorial Cup. Championship weekend continues Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's the final game to determine Canadian junior hockey supremacy. Catch it on Sportsnet East, Ontario, West, and Pacific. AJ Pierzynski pops the first pitch out of play. Excuse me, Dallas McPherson. McPherson in his second at bat, he struck out his first time up in the 5th inning. He came on defensively for the injured Gordon Beckham. Carl Drabek working into the 7th inning. Another breaking ball bounced.
Casey Jansen up for a second time. It won't take him long to get ready.
Any problems from Drabek this inning, they'll be ready to go to that bullpen.
Good pitch right in on the hands of McPherson. Got it. Good curveball. Does it. McPherson strikes out for a second time.
And that was the problem he had in the minor leagues. Hit all the home runs, but he struck out a lot too. Kyle Drabek picks up his third strikeout tonight. A well-placed curveball. Now he's got to figure out how to get Juan Pierre out.
Juan Pierre's hot. Juan Pierre walked, tripled, and singled tonight. He also had 2 hits in the opener and a walk.
Pierre is doing the same thing that he did last year. Got off to a rough start, had a very good May, got that batting average up, had a very good finish to his season. Last year, about this time, he was hitting 187. He hit in 9 of 10, and his batting average went up to 250.
Hits this one in the air. Davis over in the gap. Pierre's retired for the first time tonight. We talk about baby steps with Kyle Drabek. Last time out against Houston, he went 6 innings and gave up 8 hits. He was charged with 3 earned runs. Tonight he's working into the 7th with 2 outs, has allowed the White Sox just 3 hits.
He will probably end up with a season high in pitches also for a contest. Getting stronger.
Thrown 114 pitches now, and he's built like a piece of granite.
Big and strong, and he can get some consistency with that curveball and his fastball. He's going to be fun to watch.
Most pitches he has thrown in the game this year, 114 back on the 13th of April at Seattle. Pitch was in a good spot, and Ramirez laid off. Went after that curveball. Ramirez is a free swinger. There's no doubt about that. But he's also a dangerous hitter. He's got some pop. You look at him and you say, wow, this guy not very big, but boy, he can generate some bat speed.
Did a lot like Alfonso Soriano when he came up with the Yankees. Thin, but a very quick bat.
Wouldn't chase 2 in a row. Full count. 2 outs here in the 7th inning, and it's 2-2 ball game. Kyle Drabek hooked up against Mark Burley. Carlos Quint has been held hitless in this series so far. From another curveball, and Ramirez fouled it off. Ramirez's career high in home runs came in his first year with the White Sox. He hit 21 home runs in 2008. Good fastball that Ramirez spoils.
And he is right on top of the plate. I don't think he can get any closer to home plate. Making it tough to try and get that outside corner because he can reach it. Look at his feet right on the batter's box.
Chases the curveball, gets away from Aaron Sabia, and Ramirez is going to reach. That curveball in the dirt. John Farrell has already made the call for the bullpen after the strikeout and the wild pitch. He'll go to the bullpen, and Drabek's night will come to an end. The strikeout of Ramirez, just his 4th strikeout of the night. He will leave holding the White Sox just 3 hits through 6 2/3. In relief of Kyle Drabek with 2 outs and a runner at first.
Jansen pitching in some big parts of ball games because he's been very effective. A whip under 1. He's only given up 15 hits all season long in 20 games. Last time we saw Casey was back in New York, where he picked up a hold in that game on the 24th.
Carlos Quentin 0 for 2 with a walk. Why Jansen at this point of the ball game?
I think he wants to give these right-handed hitters that are coming up, Quentin and possibly Konerko, a different look. Jansen has been pitching good ball, a lot more strikes. He'll cut the fastball, curveball, but attacks, and just give those hitters a different look than what we saw from Kyle Drabek.
He throws a lot of first pitch strikes, and Quentin doesn't have time to take pitches. It's only the 2nd at bat for the White Sox right fielder against Casey Jansen. Ramirez at first. 2 steals in 4 attempts this year. Jansen misses with that breaking ball. It's another inherited runner here. He's stranded 7 of 10. Ball on the strike, 2 outs. We are in the 7th inning. Ball gets away from Arancibia. That looked like it just went off the end of his glove, like it moved a little more than he expected.
Do you remember earlier in the game when he fouled a ball off of his thumb or off of his glove hand? Do catchers start getting gun shy then if their hand is hurting?
Yeah, you try not to think about it, but that's a possibility. He really took one. Sinking fastball was fouled off his thumb, off the glove, and that one looked like he just took his eye off it, hit off the end of his webbing. It's a pass ball charged to Arancibia. So that's a big 90 feet they have just given up with 2 outs and an RBI guy at the plate. Carlos Quentin has 32 ribbies. Three and 1. Jansen didn't want to throw this many pitches to Quentin. Now Quentin's got a pretty good read on what Casey's featuring.
And if he loses him, the guy on deck has been paying close attention also. That's Paul Konerko, their cleanup hitter.
That's lifted to right. Should be an easy play for Bautista. Casey Janssen gets out of it. He strands another base runner. That's 8 of 11 for Casey Janssen. Kyle Drabek has that runner stranded. Drabek with a strong outing. It's a good job from Casey Janssen. It's a 2-2 game, middle of the seventh. Bottom of the seventh inning. We'll take a look back at Burley pitching in this ballpark back in 2007.
Yeah, he gave up just 2 hits in the game, both of them home runs. One to Aaron Hill and the other one to Big Frank Thomas. He lost that game despite throwing a complete game. Burley never pitched out of the stretch in that game. Those were the only 2 base runners he gave up the whole night. 2 home runs. And ended up losing.
This is Mark Burley's 6th start here in this ballpark. He is 1-3 with a very good ERA at 2.72. And he's always pitched well and very quickly. He averages 13.9 pitches per inning pitched in this ballpark. Jose Molina, the DH, reached on an error and grounded to first. Fouls the first pitch back. How about a contrast to inexperience? Mark Burley starting tonight, making his 344th start against Kyle Drabek, making his 14th. Drabek held his own.
He certainly did. I think gave up just 3 hits. Gave up the 5 walks. Only one of them came around to score.
This is popped up down the right side. Konerko in foul ground. Can't make the play. Konerko got there, but reached back over his shoulder and missed it.
Here is the rest of the pitching line for Kyle Drabek as he pitches into the 7th inning. Just gave up those 3 hits, like we talked about. One of them being a triple of Pierre. He would score on a sacrifice fly. Single to Vizquel. Just one of the base runners on the walk came around to score.
0-2. Tried to catch the outside corner and missed. Molina's the DH tonight. Edwin Encarnacion, who you might expect the DH, has got a bad foot, fouled a couple of pitches off his front foot. John McDonald also dealing with a sore hamstring, was questionable for tonight.
They can play in an absolute emergency, Encarnacion and McDonald.
Now, if I'm a manager, I have a different definition of emergency.
Emergency is after the first pitch, right?
2-2 game late in the game. That's an emergency.
That's an emergency for me, too. You're trying to win anything you can, right?
John Pell trying to get his ball club back to 500. They're 2 games under as we speak. Ozzie Guillen's club 4 games under 500, 8.5 back. There's a base hit from Molina.
Pierre over it quickly to cut it off. Molina rounds first, but he'll stop there. Molina with a leadoff single.
You know, when you have a short bench like the Blue Jays are working with, you don't have many moves. You can't pinch run right here.
Yeah. If John McDonald were healthy right now, this would be a good chance to put him in there. You still have Eric Thames on the bench. He's healthy, but probably going to keep Thames back for a possible pinch hit appearance. There's McDonald talking with Murphy. Jason Nix, the number 9 hitter, not showing bunt, takes an inside pitch for a ball. I mean, here's another situation. Nix, if he is asked to bunt, has to make a perfect bunt down.
It'd have to be perfect. And you said it before about Burley, the Gold Glover. He's won 2 Gold Gloves in his career. It'd have to be almost perfect.
Ground ball to third. McPherson to Vizquel at second. Quick turn. Not in time. Boy, Nix got out of the box in a hurry. McPherson at third was a little deliberate with his throw to second.
And he had just backed up the third baseman, McPherson, and that gave it the ball 1 extra bounce. And when you're not swinging the bat and getting base hits, you can help the team by showing some good hustle. He beats it out.
Well, that's a good trade for the Blue Jays to get a little more speed on with Nix. Top of the order, Yunel Escobar has a single in 3 at bats. Mark Burley just keeps firing strikes. Blue Jays have done a pretty good job of making Burley work tonight.
I agree with you about that. They've tried to make him throw more pitches. He hasn't been as sharp as we have seen him in the past, but the last couple of days, Blue Jays have faced some pitchers where they have gone up there hacking.
Now, Burley is averaging 6 2/3 innings per start and 98 pitches per outing. He's over the pitch count tonight, up to 108. 2-1 to Escobar. Out in front of that off-speed pitch. Mentioned Mark Burley is a great fielder. Back-to-back Gold Glove winner, 2009, 2010. It's the first White Sox player to win back-to-back Gold Gloves since Robin Ventura, when he won 3 straight in the early 90s. That ball is driven in the gap. Nix can run. Rios gets over, tries to cut it off. The outfielders collide, and they're going to wave Nix home from Vizquel. Here's the throw to the plate, not in time. The outfielders, Rios and Quinton, got tangled up in right center, and that cost Mark Burley a run. Nix with good hustle. Boy, that exchange for Molina for Nix was very big.
Yeah, and him hustling out of the box to stay out of the double play. You can't describe it any better than the way you just said it. The ball is hit into the gap in right center field. And watch as the 2 outfielders converge on the ball. They run into each other. And just that amount of time allows Jason Nix, hustling all the way. He picks up his third base coach, Brian Butterfield, and he's going to score without a throw.
Boy, you cannot coach a base runner in that situation, and Nix had his mind made up that he was going to score. But Rios throws well, Quinton throws well, but they got tangled up, and by the time Quinton got the ball back in, it was too late.
You know what you can't do as a base runner is just assume, okay, well, I've got third base. You've got to think about, I'm going to try and score until that coach stops me.
Corey Patterson 0 for 3. Hops up to first pitch. Vizquel out, Quinton in, and Quinton makes the running catch. The right-hander is Tony Pena, and he's firing quickly to get loose here in the 7th. now another situation with the base open and Jose Bautista at the plate. And A.J. Brzezinski's not even hesitating. He held up 4 fingers, and they'll give him the intentional pass.
Don't even want to mess around with him. And that's why we were saying in the opening how important the guy hitting behind him is. That anytime there is a runner in scoring position and first base open, they're going to go ahead and walk him. Rivera has been swinging a hot bat since May the 18th, up over 370 at 379. And he was also hit with runners in scoring position also.
And he has 2 doubles tonight against Mark Burley. And Ozzie Guillen has Tony Pena ready, and he's popped out of the dugout. This will be interesting to see how he handles this situation. He's got his veteran Mark Burley. And now Guillen said, I'm not going to let you hit me, as he was talking about Bautista before he went to the mound. Intentional walks, the numbers are jumping up. He's now 3 behind Cabrera. Well, Guillen does this more often than not. Goes out to check with Mark Burley. He's got tremendous respect for his starting pitchers.
He's got 6 of them, and they're really good too. And he will give them every opportunity to try and win a ball game.
Sure, he had something to say to Burley. Hey, how do you feel? I'm good. Okay. See ya. Rivera, as we mentioned, a pair of doubles and an RBI tonight against Mark Burley. Blue Jays have taken a 3-2 lead here in the bottom of the 7th. Burley just a little bit extra on that fastball, jammed Rivera. Comes right in there with another fastball. Just when you think you got to think off speed against Burley, he crosses you up.
Crosses you up in that fastball, although it's just 87 miles an hour. It looks like 92 or 93. And you just can't pull that trigger.
Three fastballs in a row. Blue Jays now with 9 hits against Mark Burley. Breaking ball, he was right on it, just fouled it back.
We were talking about the approach last time he is up, where you just don't have any stride. You can wait just a little bit longer. You can track the ball a little bit better.
Plus, with no stride, you don't have any movement of your head, and the ball slows down a little bit.
I like his approach, and it's worked so far tonight.
Wide of third. Ramirez is there at second base just in time. Vizquel got to the bag just ahead of Jose Bautista. But the Blue Jays cash in a run. An RBI double by Yunel Escobar. Jason Nick scoring all the way from first base. The Blue Jays have taken a 3-2 lead after 7.
All new Equus from Hyundai, redefining luxury.
After a leadoff single, the fourth inning by Aaron Hill, Rajai Davis steps to the plate and smokes a ball from Mark Burley into the gap. And he took off. As soon as he came around first base, he was low flying. And slides into third base with his third triple of the season, gave the Blue Jays a lead of 2-1 at the time.
Rajai Davis, a couple of hits tonight, and the RBI. Casey Jansen came on to get the final out of the seventh, and Carlos Quentin to pop up. Paul Konerko is 0 for 7 in the series so far. Konerko grounds out to second, first out of the 8th inning. Enjoying those big comfy green chairs in the TD Comfort Zone are Jays Care Foundation's online auction winners. They were the highest bidders, and they won the rights to sit in the TD Comfort Zone courtesy of TD. And they have seen a good ball game. Kadre Beck and Mark Burley the starters, and the Blue Jays have taken a 3-2 lead here late. Stay tuned. Coming up, a connected update with Jamie Campbell and Greg Zaun from the BlackBerry Broadcast Studio. Top of the 8th inning, 1-1 count on the White Sox catcher A.J. Pierzynski. Good breaking ball. Sean Kemp is standing by. Looks like he's loose and ready. Should Casey Jansen need any help?
You get through this inning, and then it'll be interesting to see in the 9th inning with how they mix and match. They're going to go with numbers and matchups.
John Fail talked to his relievers before yesterday's game. Said no one has officially been named the closer. Stand ready. We will let you know about matchups and who we think can close out each game. Ball just missed the outside corner.
That's a pitch that's been so good for Jansen so far this year. Why he has been able to handle the lefties better than the right-handers. He's been able to throw that pitch to the outside part of the plate against the left-handed batters.
Pierzynski has the ability to go the opposite field. We've seen him drive a ball there. He did that in his first at bat. He got a base hit to left in last night's game. Bounced it toward first. Rivera will shovel it to Jansen. Plenty of time to get Pierzynski. Rios gets his regular welcome by the Rogers Center crowd. 0 for 3 tonight.
Used that to his advantage last year when he came back for the first time, and they were all over him. But he had a good series. Hit 3 home runs in that series last year.
Broke up Ricky Romero's no-hitter with a home run. Strike one. $16,668 here tonight, Friday night at Rogers Center. The Sox won the opener 3-1. Jesse Crane picked up the win in relief. Mark Zepchinski was the loser.
1-2.
Down right at the bottom of the strike zone. That's where Jansen has lived all season long.
Sharply hit off the glove of Aaron Hill. Rios will reach. It has scored a base hit, sharply hit to the glove side of Aaron Hill.
And with Rios' ability to run, he might try and steal this one right at him. And he plays it off to the side. We saw that ball ricochet and hit Beckham in the face. Looked like the same thing happened there.
Rios with a big lead. Adam Dunn at the plate. Well, you talk about the contrast of two games. Dunn struck out 4 times in last night's game. Tonight he's walked all 3 times. So Casey Jansen has allowed the first base runner to reach against him. He had retired the first 3. Then Rios hit a hot shot off the glove of Hill at second. They go too far. The appeal down to third is denied by Bruce Dreckman. 2-0.
For a big man with great power that Dunn has, he's got a good eye. That looked like a pitch that you could have done something with. But he takes it for a ball just off the plate.
Off-speed pitch in there for a strike. Been a battle for Adam Dunn so far this season. We mentioned in last night's game he had an emergency appendectomy early in April.
Didn't miss much time either. Came right back. And now still trying to find his stroke.
Yeah, after he had that appendectomy, he missed just 6 games. How do you do that?
I don't know. It takes 6 days just for the stitches to heal.
2-1, 2 outs. Rios at first. Three and 1. Blue Jays took a 1-0 lead in the first. The Sox tied it up with a run in the third. Blue Jays scored a run in the fourth. Sox answered with a run in the fifth. Popped out of play over the Blue Jays dugout. So now Rios at first will get a running start. Vizquel is on deck. Since Rios represents the tying run, Juan Rivera is going to stay at first base to cut down his lead.
Yeah, 3 and 2 outs. The runner's going to take off. He should stay right there. Stay there so that extra step, Rios doesn't get a chance. He's got to guard the line anyway.
There he goes. Just off the plate outside. Looked like a pretty good pitch. So Dunn walks for the 4th time tonight.
4 strikeouts last night, 4 base on balls tonight.
And John Farrell with a slow walk out of the dugout. Casey Jansen has given up a 2-out single off the glove of Aaron Hill and walked Adam Dunn. Sean Camp has come out of the bullpen and he will try to strand a couple of Jansen's base runners. When we come back, Sean Camp will deal with the 44-year-old veteran Omar Vizquel.
trade that benefits both clubs, and Sean Markham's done a good job for the Brewers. Sean Kemp in here with a couple on, trying to protect this one-run lead.
Tied for second on the club with 21 appearances. Camp has been around for a long time. So has Omar Vizquel. And you look at the numbers. Camp versus Vizquel, they've only faced each other 3 times.
First pitch strike, always a great weapon. Vizquel has singled in 3 at-bats tonight. He was 1 for 4 last night. Rios, a good base runner at second. Missed with that sinking fastball, ball and strike.
Rios has got to be a good base runner because the outfield is very shallow with Omar Vizquel at the plate. They're shifted around towards left field, and Corey Patterson, the left fielder, is very shallow in left field. Vizquel likes to run and punch that ball to the left side.
Punches this one to second. Hill will go to second for the force out, and Camp does indeed come in. Out of the bullpen and strands a pair. He protects that 1-run lead for Casey Jansen. Good job by the veteran Sean Kemp. As he retires Omar Vizquel, now it's time for a connected update with Jamie and Greg from the Blackberry Broadcast Studio. Kids tickets. Next Junior J Saturday is tomorrow when the Jays take on the White Sox at 1:07 p.m. start. Kids 14 and under receive 50% off all tickets to Saturday home games. That's 200 outfield and 500 level seats only. Call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. Bottom of the 8th. New pitcher for the White Sox is Tony Pena.
Pena is big and strong and a workhorse for the Chicago White Sox. His earned run average is inflated because he hasn't pitched very well away from his home ballpark, U.S. Cellular Field. Last year led all American relief pitchers with nearly 82 innings pitched out of the bullpen.
A good fastball for a strike. He's ahead of Aaron Sebia, ball and 2 strikes. Breaking ball missed. It's 2-2. Well, again, the Blue Jays bullpen has done a good job. Casey Jansen got out of the 7th. Sean Kemp gets out of the 8th. Aaron Sebia gets a base hit up the middle.
It's Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Leadoff man aboard. Blue Jays with a 1-run lead at 3-2 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Mark Burley went 7 innings. He gives up 3 runs on 9 hits. Aaron Hill had one of those 9 hits. Takes the first pitch strike. First look for Hill at Tony Pena. Good late movement on that fastball, but it missed downstairs.
Pena's been good at home. His ERA under 3. But on the road, he has thrown 9 innings and he's given up 10 earned runs. Wait him out.
Upstairs. Pena came to the White Sox in a trade for an infielder, Brandon Allen, back in July of 09. Signed as a free agent with the Diamondbacks in 2002. There goes the base runner. Hill pops it into center field. Aaron Sebia will go back to first.
Here's a pitching line for Mark Burley. 7 innings. He did give up hits. With just 3 earned runs, he threw a season high 120 pitches in that game.
Again gave him a chance to get out of the inning. He walked Jose Bautista and then let Burley finish the inning to Juan Rivera. Hopefully his White Sox could score a run in the top half of the 8th. Rajai Davis has had a good night at the plate. Tripled and drove in a run in the 4th and singled in the 6th. Hits this one off the end of the bat and pops it out of play. His average up to 268. He was 0 for 4 in last night's game, but on Wednesday afternoon in New York, he had a double and a single in 4 at-bats. Has another base hit, rips it past Dallas McPherson into left. 3-hit night for Rajai Davis.
Pulling the trigger on that inside pitch. Good to see Davis swing a bat like that. Pitchers have been staying away from him. You see Pierzynski slide to the outside part of the plate, but Pena misses his spot. And he's going to get touched up for a hit.
Davis's average now up over 270. Aaron Sebia at second, Davis at first. Jose Molina, the DH, takes the first pitch outside. Two and 0.
He has come through many times this year with runners in scoring position as Jose Molina gets himself into account right here. Blue Jays tonight just 1 for 8. They've left 7 runners on, but Molina this year hitting .385 with runners in scoring position.
Well, the Blue Jays' problems with runners in scoring position directly related to Mark Burley. The veteran left-hander has really been remarkable pitching with runners in scoring position this year. He did it again tonight. 2-1 to Molina. Back into the seats. Blue Jays lost a tough one in last night's game. The White Sox scored 2 in the top of the 9th inning. They would hold on for a 3-1 win. Another 1-run game tonight. close battle. Juan Pierre has had another good night. Molina into right field, the base hit. Aaron Sebia is getting the wave around third. Here comes the throw from Quinton. It'll be cut off. Jose Molina delivers a big insurance run here in the eighth.
He does it again with runners in scoring position. You can't defend him because he can hit the ball all over the ballpark. Jose with a multi-hit game again. Inside out swing. Slider, he stays right with it. Just punches it into right field. Now watch Quinton go over and play back on the ball. Can't charge it. And by the time he sets his feet to get the throw in, Aaron Sebia scores.
Good piece of hitting by Molina. That was a good pitch down and away, and he just stroked it into right. Aaron Sebia scores. That's a big run. 4-2 ball game.
Omar Vizquel is in the game. He is a smart player. He knows that Rajai Davis has stolen third base 6 times this year. So he breaks in right behind him to get the pitcher's attention.
Ball on a strike to Jason Nix. Nix reached on a fielder's choice in the 7th and scored all the way from first base on the double by Escobar. And there's Vizquel shadowing Rajai Davis at second. Davis broke. Molina had his head down and he's headed for second. Molina safe at second. Rajai safe at third. That's a backward double steal if I've ever seen one. But Davis broke for third and then stopped. The last thing Molina saw was Davis breaking, and he just put his head down and went to second.
And just kept running, and A.J. Pierzynski threw. Watch as Davis breaks and stop, and you're right, Molina with his head down. And then the wide throw, and Davis slides under the tag.
Molina's first steal of the season. Davis's 14th. And Molina's responsibility as the trail runner. He watches Davis break. He said, okay, I got to follow him.
Because he knows where the throw's going. It's going to be thrown through. Pierzynski did that, but he beat the tag. So that's a big stolen base.
3-1 count to Nix. Goes after the slider. White Sox have to play the infield in. Blue Jays have added a run here in the 8th. They have a 2-run lead. Popped up. Shortstop Ramirez backs up. 2 down. John Roush has the ball in his hand. He has loosened up. He is ready. It appears he's going to get the opportunity to close out this game tonight. Escobar, pair of hits and an RBI. He's also scored a run, takes the first pitch strike from Bingo. Davis at third, Molina at second. Jose Molina with an RBI single. Rajai Davis, his third hit of the night. He singled to left. Blue Jays would love to have some breathing room.
Yeah. A lot of tight games this year. Not a lot of laughers.
Ball is popped out of play. A ball and 2 strikes to the Blue Jays shortstop. Escobar's average has been in a steady climb. He's up to 288 now. Ground ball to short. Ramirez on the money to first, and the Blue Jays strand a couple, but they add an insurance run. The RBI single by Molina. It'll be 9-1-2. Juan Pierre will bat second. Ramirez will bat third. The Blue Jays holding on to a 2-run lead. John Roush will come in looking for his 6th save of the season. The first only from Rogers.
Game was tied before Escobar sends a ball into the gap in right center field when Quinton and Rios run into each other. That allows Jason Nix to circle the bases and break that tie, making it 3-2. They would add a run later in the ball game, making it 4-2. Escobar has a multi-hit game tonight, and that brings on John Roush to try and finish it off.
Roush making his 22nd appearance of the season. We'll deal with the number 9 hitter, Dallas McPherson. McPherson came into the game for the injured second baseman Gordon Beckham, and he has struck out twice. Juan Pierre has had a good series. 2 more hits tonight. He's been on base 3 times in the ball game. 1-2. John Roush changes speeds and makes quality pitches both sides of the plate.
And he'll use that outside part of the plate to cut his fastball. Been using a changeup.
Went too far. McPherson strikes out. 3 strikeouts on the night for Dallas McPherson. First out of the ninth.
It's good to get that first batter efficiency. Now John Roush has retired 19 of the 22 batters he has faced when he comes in for the first time.
Juan Pierre walked, tripled, singled, and flew out to left. First pitch strike. First pitch strikes, first outs of innings. Very big when you're a relief pitcher.
Make things a lot easier on you.
Pierre in a hole, 0-2. Big John Roush started out his career. He was drafted by the White Sox in 1999, a 3rd-round pick. Then he was traded from Chicago to Montreal with Gary Majeski in exchange for Carl Everett. That came in 2004. Off of Roush. Pierre can run. Not in time. Another infield hit for Juan Pierre. That insurance run in the bottom of the 8th is huge.
Yeah, it looks huge now. Just the 5th hit of the night for the White Sox. And it comes with 2 strikes, and it comes off the back foot of John Roush.
Three more hits for Pierre tonight. He had 2 hits in last night's game. Shortstop Alexei Ramirez is 0 for tonight. First pitch strike. Carlos Quentin on deck. Blocked, and Pierre will move up to second. It'll be a wild pitch charge to John Roush as Aaron Sevilla couldn't square up on that ball, and it got away from him.
Takes the double play out now. Keeps the speed on the bases. He gets into scoring position. Watch this pitch down. Tries to backhand it. Instead of smothering it, it just jumps straight up in the air.
But Pierre's in scoring position. That went right through Aaron Sevilla. And I don't know if he got crossed up or what, but that ball hit off his glove and went back to the screen.
That's why you see the catchers go out there as soon as that runner gets into scoring position to go out there and talk to the pitcher to make sure they're on the same page. This is total cross-upsville right here as he is handcuffed by that pitch.
Second pass ball of the game for Aaron Sevilla. And he took a foul off the glove earlier in the game, and since then has had some trouble. So Juan Pierre's now at third base. Popped up back behind the screen and out of play. Blue Jays had runners at second and third in the bottom of the 8th inning and left them on base. Would have been a nice little cushion to add 2 more. 2-2 to the White Sox shortstop. Pierre's at third. Another pop up. Rivera gives chase. Haven't been an awful lot of easy wins for John Farrell. The bullpen has been hit around a little bit of late. That hits the umpire in foul ground. Bruce Dreckman couldn't get out of the way. It was a hooking line drive, and he was in foul territory.
Breaking ball, and you can see it's hooking. And it's going foul. You can tell from that camera, it definitely was going foul. Juan Pierre didn't think so.
No, Juan Pierre was going to help out Dreckman. Say, no, that was a fair ball. As you see, Dreckman lines up in foul ground. Got it. What a big strikeout for John Roush. After Ramirez made a bid for extra bases down the left field line, he comes back with a breaking ball and strikes him out.
Took a little something off, and that's something that he is throwing a little bit more of this year. Look at that ball go down. Ramirez strikes out for the 3rd time tonight.
That might have been that straight changeup he throws so effectively. So now there are 2 down. Carlos Quentin been held hitless in the series. Quentin is 0 for 6 against the Blue Jays' big right-hander John Roush.
With plenty of power. And I think Quentin's got one thing on his mind right now. Pick out a pitch and see how far he can hit it. Try and tie up this ball game.
Ground ball to short. Escobar, Rivera, Blue Jays win it. John Roush picks up his 6th save of the season. Comes out of the bullpen and shuts down the White Sox here. The Blue Jays have split the first 2 games of this 4-game series. Big night for Rajay Davis. He had 3 hits. Now it's time for the Connected Post-Game Report with Jamie and Greg from the Blackberry Broadcast Studio.